College baseball fans, welcome to another episode of the 11.7 podcast, live on all podcasting platforms, including YouTube now. So, this is going to be a fun episode. We got all three of the boys here. Jack's going to tell us about his past weekend up in Conway, South Carolina, where he got to broadcast let's see, how many games? 3 games total?
Yeah.
3 games total. We're also going to recap the midweek, and this midweek was electric. A lot of mid-major upsets over Power Five teams. We will also talk about all the tournaments being played this weekend, and we'll go over the 6 series that we have for our weekend series pick'em and Survivor contest. So great episode. A lot of just yapping it up with the boys. Um, Before we get started, I got to show everybody this. So if you're on YouTube right now, I was messing around with my almost 2-year-old son, and I'm going to mute my mic just real fast so I can take this off. Hold on one second. All right, so I'm messing around with him, and I'm putting the microphone in his face. I look away for 2 seconds, and he takes a bite out of the foam of my microphone. Do you guys see this? Like just like an apple. Freaking hilarious. So,
Did he say how it tasted?
Dude, he chomped that thing down.
dude, he chomped it so hard. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic so I can put this back on. All right, we're back. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I guess he's just not into broadcasting, or he loves it so much he's like, I eat this up. I eat this up.
Here, secret of the industry. Sometimes when you sound a little muffled on the audio, broadcasters will tell you got to learn how to eat the mic. And little Upton is ready to rumble. He's already learned the lingo.
He's ahead of the game there. So I wanted to bring that up. It might look funny on YouTube, but I'll keep it forever. This is what I do it for, man. That's what I do it for. I do it for my son. Anyways, Jack, tell us about your weekend, man. You had no games scheduled, and you end up broadcasting 3. So 3 of the best games too.
Yeah,
They were fun. Go ahead.
they were. I was going to say the college game day for college baseball. Flops got on the ground in Conway, South Carolina, which I have learned is one of the cooler. Uh, I think from a experiences in the country. My main man is band of lunatics, a lot of former national field. So from an experience standpoint, go ahead.
Yeah, your mic is cutting out. No, your mic's cutting out. Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna get this fixed right here live on the air.
Hold on.
Try unplugging it and plugging it back in.
That's literally
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
Really?
Yep. Hey, guess what? We're gonna make adjustments on the fly, just like we're in the batter's box. I want you to leave real quick and come right back. While you leave, I'm gonna show everybody about home field apparel. Okay. So we're
Cooler
gonna
than I am.
just take yourself out of the lineup real quick, Jack. Take yourself out. There he goes. All right. So while Jack is gone, and this
Oh
is
my
just kind of the
God.
operation that we're running. We are sponsored by Home Field Apparel. If you guys listened to last week's
Partnered.
episode, what?
We're partnered with Home Field.
What did I say?
We're sponsored.
Oh yeah, sorry, not sponsored. Partners, official partners of Home Field Apparel. We could not be happier. This was one of the one of the companies we really wanted to partner with this year, just because we love their product. So the team of the week right now is Austin Peay. If you guys haven't seen, they just won 2 games at the Dude against Mississippi State, and we'll break down those games here in just a second. But look at these fire shirts, sweaters.
Look
You
at
got
that
the
crew
big
neck.
G with the Govs. This
Look
one's
at
my
that crew
personal
neck.
favorite right here. Austin Peay. You got the Monopoly man, it looks like. So we bring that up because since we are official partners with Home Field, they're giving us a 15% off promo code that you can use at checkout for all of the college baseball fans. The promo code is CWS24. So just think College World Series 24, like the year we're in, 2024. And it gives you 15% off. They got tons of schools, I think over 150 schools. They're based out of Indianapolis, Indiana, and they've just been killing the apparel game. All officially licensed, a lot of retro logos that you won't see anywhere else. So y'all go check it out. It's just homefieldapparel.com. They're on all social media platforms as well. And they're sending each one of us I think it's a mystery gift box full of just random shirts that we get to wear during the podcast. really pumped about that.
I'm super pumped. I want to see what I get. I mean, I look at their website probably once a day, and I'm like, dude, I want that. I want this. I want that.
Exactly. And they're affordable too. I think with the promo code, uh, I think it brings it down under $30 a shirt. And these are like the most comfortable shirts I've ever worn. I got 3. I'm not at my house right now. I'm still house sitting. But when next episode, I'll wear my UC Irvine one. It's sick. Anyways, Jack is back with us. I'm glad that you made the adjustment. Let's test this out here.
Would that be similar to the yips? Is that what just happened to me on the front end of the show?
Bang, you sound great.
Mound visit.
No,
It's like a mound visit.
probably not the yips.
It's a mound visit.
I'd compare it to like coming out of the bullpen. No, sorry, not. I would compare it to going out the first inning, starting the game on the mound, not finding the zone, going to the bullpen after the top of the first, working on some stuff. Now here we are in the top of the second, ready to fire away.
Savvy vet move, home field rocks. I'm excited to check out the shirts. How do we do? Did I miss anything else?
No, nope, you did good. So tell us about your weekend. I'll give people the backstory. You were not planning on doing any broadcasting. You just wanted to go up to Coastal Carolina to watch that Conway Beach tournament, and you ended up in the booth and you crushed it, dude. You crushed it. You sounded great. A lot of people were commenting on the videos saying that you're like the best around. So take it away. Tell us about your weekend.
Far too kind. Baseball at the beach was sick, man. The idea of going up and trying to just like do what I kind of did in Omaha, which is like interview guys after games and get to meet coaches and continue to tell stories in a unique light was fun until Sam Wiederhaft, who was the play-by-play guy for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, which is the Cubs single A team, had kind of recognized the pencil. The director of all the games, this dude Alex Souza, who's a dog, was like, "Hey man, yeah, we need some help. Come on, like, come step in." I was like, well, "This got real really fast," and kind of what ensued was awesome, man. A ton of people reached out, far too kind, strangers and friends and family. But what I will tell you from a baseball perspective that I saw, the George Mason Patriots will be back. Everyone needs a little adversity in their life. Exactly what happened.
Oh, dude.
They
got
got
stomped.
pumped, dude. They got absolutely fucking pumped.
Wrong. They got handed a slice of humble pie. It's exactly what the boys needed. They'll be back. To speak of what happened to the George Mason Patriots, Duke is fielding 9 young gentlemen who could play on any Sunday and on any NFL team in the country. Their corner infielders are 6'5", 255, and they're the largest human beings I've ever seen in my life. Those guys absolutely juice baseballs. I mean, they're massive. They're really good. And with 4 All-Americans in their rotation, they're going to be pretty good. Coastal's awesome. Derek Bender's got about as much swag as humanly possible and heard the conversation. He's for the brand. He bought some shirts. Folks, go take a look at Dimitri's stuff. Derek Bender for the brand. Hits bombs. Awesome human being. And Coastal's going to probably host a regional yet again. But Ben, you called it. You called it about a month ago. The sleeper that I think everyone kept calling a sleeper. Indiana's the real deal, guys.
Good, man.
Being on the broadcast for that game, dude, like they have Tyler Cerny, who's just now starting to play shortstop, is crazy. And you haven't even talked about Devin Taylor, who after this week, I'm like, I see why like he's like a sleeper for that Golden Spikes guy. Like he's nuts. So it was 4 teams that were in a regional last year. It's 4 teams that'll be in a regional yet again this year. And man, I was super blessed to be up on the booth. And for anyone who tuned in, man, I'm really, really thankful for the kind words.
Yeah. So, dude, you did a great job. I watched every single game. You killed it. But I will say, I think whatever you get paid, your rate should go up 10 times as much as whatever you're charging, because the Duke Blue Devils, the home team, ended up, well, not the home team, sorry, but they ended up hitting 11 home runs in one game, followed by the next game leadoff homer. So Duke needs to probably pay you what, 500 a game now to maybe 1,000 a game to be their home broadcast, because they just hit when you're on the call.
Zach Morris, which by the way, all-time name, the VMI transfer hitting leadoff for Duke, hit 3 home runs with me on the call. He probably couldn't have done it without me. Also on his call last year, Joe Riley Park against the Citadel, went yeah. So I mean,
you could just be his personal announcer everywhere he goes.
11 program record. I can't remember who they did it against. It really doesn't matter, and I hope they washed the opponent from the record books.
Do you need me to remind you or no?
No, I
Okay,
don't.
I
But I
won't.
do think that because I'm wearing the hat, they're gonna be fine. 21-1 on Tuesday. 21-1. I want that one in the record books. But dude, Duke is great. 11 program homers, and here was the one that was really fun. There was 13 home runs hit in that game on Saturday. 4 of which were of guys whose first collegiate hits were homers. And I was like, well, it's pretty fucking memorable.
You know who? Do you know who else had a home run his first collegiate at bat?
The boy.
Was it me going Oppo Taco in a tournament at Belmont University against Eastern Michigan? What? Was it me?
You went backside, yeah.
Pinch hit, 7th inning, pinch hit, down 5-0, 2-run bomb, Oppo. Whack.
I think
2014 UT Martin Skyhawks, look it up, 9-43 on the year.
Go.
We were the
Let's
third
go.
we were like 298 in the RPI. It was great. Great
Hey,
season.
Jack, has anyone ever had a traveling play-by-play guy like saying, I can't play tonight unless my play-by-play guy's here?
that Dimitri, I've actually asked that, and I said that on the broadcast. I said, wherever you need me, I'll be there. I will be the world's first substitute teacher in this industry. I really did say that.
Do you remember when I forget who the play-by-play guy was for the New York Yankees, but after he retired, they still played his Derek Jeter. What's his name?
K.
Well, yeah.
No. Michael K is still here. No.
This was the Peay. Yeah, and I don't remember his name.
Peay guy.
Yeah.
Number 2, Derek Jeter, number 2. Like,
Wait,
that's going to be Jack.
What's the difference between PA and play-by-play and color comment?
PA is in stadium.
Yeah.
Play-by-play is like on TV.
Yeah.
Okay. Public announcer in stadium, play-by-play, TV, and then what's color commentator or commenter? Whatever.
That's the guy next to play-by-play.
Color analyst, like an analyst.
Yeah.
So basically, the play-by-play guy, the guy with the personality, the analyst is the guy that provides the unique insight.
Yeah.
So, all right. Do you remember Sunday Night Baseball? It used to be, who was it? Something Miller and Joe Morgan. What's the big guy's name?
Yeah, I was thinking Matt Miller.
John Miller, Joe Morgan. Yeah. So Joe Morgan was a color guy because he played in the major leagues and like has the experience. He can kind of break down plays. Joe Miller was like the big professional broadcaster with the voice. That's the way you can remember it.
Yeah. John Miller's with the Giants now. So like when you think of like Joe Buck, like Joe Buck's like the captain of the ship, and then the guy that you're really making it about, like the guy you care about is Smoltz up there who's actually telling you what's going on.
Exactly. There we go. Hey, a little announcing 101. Dimitri's on it now.
That's cool. I mean, I've always like kind of understood, but I never really understood the dynamic of the 3 different positions, I guess.
So look, I can even make it a little bit simpler for you. Like right now, I'm kind of play-by-play, and then you and Jack are kind of color analysts. So whenever I like toss you up a question, be like, Dimitri, talk to me about Miami losing today to UCF. Like, what are your thoughts?
Come on, asshole.
That's how it rolls.
Maybe you should be the analyst because you're the one firing it off and the personality there. You can do it all.
I always highly respect the solo guys, the Vin Scullies that just talk for 4 hours straight about like every play. Like they just fill in every single bit of silence. Solo dolo. Anyways, let's do a little midweek recap here. After that, we will talk about the tournaments going on. We'll quickly go through FridayStarters.com. They have a great tournament hub, and then we'll do the weekend series pick'em at the end. So 15 minutes in, right on pace. Let me toss it up to you boys. You want to talk about Austin Peay first, or do we want to save it and talk about UNC Greensboro upsetting Wake Forest?
Start wherever you want. Pick one.
So we can either start Tuesday and finish on Wednesday, or we can start today, Wednesday night, and go back to Tuesday after.
Let's start Tuesday and go forward.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Dude, how about the Spartans of UNCG? First of all, hosting Wake Forest, and I know they did it last year, right? So UNCG plays pretty nice ballpark. It's a good environment. They're in the SoCon. I mean, I played there twice in my college career, but not really up to like what Wake Forest is used to playing at. right? Like Wake Forest is used to getting spoiled playing it. They're awesome. The couch, the awesome ballpark that they're in, plus every other ACC program has pretty nice fields. But they travel to Greensboro, right in downtown Greensboro, North Carolina. And last year, Wake Forest, I think, won like 18-0. This game,
34-6 or 34 runs scored, 6 runs allowed in 2 games combined. 20-2 and
oh, that's right. They won 20-2 at Greensboro last year.
14-4.
And you know what's funny? Like last year, I remember in the Patreon gambling, I remember putting last year, like, watch out for Greensboro. They could sneak up and beat Wake Forest, and they got smacked by 18. Well, yesterday, I think I put Wake Forest in with a little money line parlay. They were only like minus 475. So I was like, oh, this is a nice little boost. Like, no way Wake Forest loses. Dude, by the second inning, we were like, oh my God, UNC Greensboro is playing to win this game.
I knew it so fast. Their first inning ABs were atrocious. Their second inning ABs were atrocious. Greensboro had bases loaded, no outs. In the bottom of the second, I think it was, second or third inning.
It was a second.
Walked the guy in, and I said, dude, this is the recipe for an upset. This is the exact recipe for an upset. You find yourself in a hole, and you just don't have enough time to get out of it. And that's exactly what happened last night. They didn't get in the hole. They escaped. But Wake, if they had one more inning, I think they would have won the game.
Well, that's okay. So the secret recipe to upsetting a team that's much better than you is that team letting you hang around. And that's what Wake Forest did. They just let UNC Greensboro hang around. It was always like either a tie game, 1-run game. And when it came down to it, UNC Greensboro got the clutch hit, the 2-run double that put them up 4-1 after a couple walks. And then Wake Forest like tried to fight back. They scored 2 in the top of the inning. Top of the 8th, I believe, and then in the top of the 9th, they just couldn't get the job done. So that was cool. And I
Great
know
game.
midweeks don't like matter and like all
They,
this
no,
stuff.
they do. They matter. Come on.
Midweeks matter. They matter.
Midweeks matter. They absolutely matter. I was having this discussion with someone. I was looking it up right there. Xander Sechrist, the midweek starter for the Tennessee Volunteers, and I were talking about it. All right, so yes. Do you sometimes throw a project out on the mound to try to figure out like X's and O's? And being the mid-major guy that we all are, like for us, like that's their World Series, right? To go beat the number 1 team in the country. But they don't throw maybe the greatest weekend rotation in the history of the sport that Wake Forest does. But when you talk about the midweeks, like you have to remember that, like when I go play in Omaha, when I go play in Hoover or at a conference tournament, like I don't just get a 3-game set. Like I got to play 4 or 5 games. So come on, give me Sparty. That was big. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
You know what the thing is, too, that people don't understand is the midweek is your 4th starter. It's your 5th starter. When you play in a regional and you don't win all 3 games, you slip on one, you need your 4th guy to get you to supers on Sunday evening or Monday night. You need that 4th guy to get you to supers, whether it's on 2 days where you just bring back your Friday, whatever it is. Your depth is shown on Tuesday night. If you can't win on Tuesday, I'm not saying your season's over, you're not going to make it and win the national championship, but it is a very strong measuring stick on how good a team is if they can handle fucking business on Tuesday.
Now, for Wake Forest fans that maybe are tuning in, it's not the end of the world. LSU did lose 2 midweeks last year. They lost back-to-back midweeks against the Raging Cajuns in the Nicholls State, which was an awesome game. So like it's early in the year. Obviously, you can't expect your offense to only score 3 runs against a mid-major. Like that's not going to happen probably ever again. So it's not the end of the world. But for people like us, midweeks matter. We love it.
Yeah.
It's just it's something fun to root for. And I don't know. I think at the end of the day, like it definitely grew the game of college baseball. More people are interested now that the number 1 team loses to a no-name school out of the SoCon. That was fun. So moving on from there, let's stay in North Carolina. We get the 3-time annual matchup of East Carolina versus Campbell. This one was at Campbell. Again, I want to apologize to every Camel fighting Camel listener. Dude, we were wrong. Campbell's really good. We thought that, well, Dimitri thought and convinced me that Campbell was going to take a big step back this year. They weren't going to be as great.
Let me read you
Dude, they're
what I
3-1
wrote
with
about
3
Campbell.
big time wins. All right.
Let me read what I wrote about Campbell in January. I said, one of the most exciting teams to follow the last few years under Justin Hare's watch. Campbell finds himself back in the top 25, but in a different light. Um, in a different light. It's going to be hard for this team to replicate their success as they enter new waters with less established talent in the cupboard, joining the CAA. The Camels lost a lot on the plate, at the plate, and on the mound. They don't have their typical first-round talent on Friday night, but they do have fun pieces that can, keyword, develop. Expect them to face adversity starting week 1 with Santa Barbara. That didn't happen. Wash. Coming to town and slowly grow as the season rolled on. Expect this to be a strong team in May, but February and March could see some growing pain. I didn't say they're a bad team. I expected them just to have some growing pain. Their assistant coach texted me, Jordan, or their player development guy. He goes, "You see what we got?" And I said, "I love it. I'm so happy for you guys. But tell Hare I fucked up. I apologize. I'm sorry." He goes, "We still got some things to work on, but we are a little ahead of schedule, like in terms of development, who's stepping up." So you can't just say I was wrong. I was just misguided.
I can say you're wrong because you made me look bad. But
I
talking
didn't
about the
make you look
game, the MVP was Grant Knipp. I mean, he caught 8 innings, hit a 3-run homer, and then comes in and slams the door, gets the save. That's a good piece to have. That's a good piece to have on your team.
First career appearance on the mound. He was up to 98 in the fall.
Yeah, he's got a good story. Jack, do you know his story?
Vaguely.
Like,
They only from what I saw the last 24 hours.
yeah. So basically, like 3 days before scout day, he was like, "I'm gonna throw a bullpen and kind of feel it out." Like he had some experience on the mound and like came in as a pitcher and was coming off of like an injury. And he said he threw like 93, 94 off the mound a few days before scout day this fall. And then on scout day, he hops up on the mound and gets up to 98. Must be nice, man. Like he's in the top
I know.
0.001% of the world at throwing objects. And he does it without much training at all. It's ridiculous. Freak athlete.
I'm so over people making 98 look easy now. It is so damn hard. I've done it for so many years, trying to throw as hard as I can. I've thrown one pitch at 96, and that's it. Everything else 94 and below. It is so hard to throw 98, and I don't understand how these kids are doing it. I don't understand how so many of these people are
Back
throwing
when we
so hard.
played, so like back when you and I played, Dimitri, you played what from 2012 through 15,
Yeah, 12 through 15.
and I was 14 through 17. Dude, when a guy would come on the mound throwing low 90s, like 92, 93, it was like, "Hey, everybody choke up a little bit." Like, everybody choke up a little bit. He's got a heavy fastball. For example, my freshman year, I faced Walker Buehler, who ended up maybe winning a Cy Young for the Dodgers. I don't know, but he was a midweek guy for Vanderbilt his freshman year. He was 94, 95, and I barely saw the pitch. I'm not even kidding. Like, out of the hand, it just and you can hear it. Dude, now that's like normal. Like 5 or 6 guys per team throw 95. It's
Dude,
crazy how much the velocity has developed over the last
but
7
it
years.
happens. These kids are like different. Like they really are different. It's I don't know. I remember I think it was Jay Johnson and Omar last year talked about like the game's growing because the game is getting better and like technology and facilities and the way that these kids work out at 14, 15, 16 is how they were working them out at 20, 21, 22 in these colleges. So, but if you remember, like, and I know that Wake's getting a ton of love with this pitching lab, and rightfully so, right? Campbell has been doing this for a
Mhm.
long time. I can say firsthand that Campbell was my aha moment. It wasn't necessarily Walker Buehler, but I remember being a sophomore getting that bat against Campbell in an 11-0 game, going, everyone goes to college wanting to play pro baseball. I saw 97 for the first time, and I go, oh, they're playing a different sport than I am. Without playing a different sport than I am, you could have given me a wiffle ball bat, and I would have been as successful as I was. So they're different, but Campbell, and I'm pretty close with one of their assistants, Adam Wise, and like they go, this is just kind of like we know how to find it in every dude's back pocket, like this ability to go reach back. So, kind of what the secret sauce is in Winston-Salem, done North Carolina, they've been doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's, it's a new standard now. Like, every team has it now, and it's good. It's good for the sport. and these guys you're going to start seeing jump to the major leagues much faster than normal. We kind of touched on it last episode with Paul Skeens and then ultimately Chase Burns. But anyways, like every team, for example, like tonight, Austin Peay throws their closer against Mississippi State. He's this long-haired. He kind of looked like the pirate off of Dodgeball. Long blonde hair. He's wearing two different color cleats, right? Like a black and a white. And he's just 94, 95 with a slider. And you're like, dude, he plays in the OVC. Like that. I never saw 90 miles an hour when I played in the OVC my freshman year. Nobody had 90. He's 94, 95. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, usually Friday night guy would be 88, 93 or 91, 92. One guy, you might have one guy, 92, 94, maybe popping a 95, but most guys were 86 to 91, 92 outside of your, I don't know, I guess your Power 5 conferences.
Dude, when I graduated high school in 2013, if there was a high schooler in the Houston area throwing 90 or higher, he got drafted.
Yeah.
Maybe he got drafted in the 30th round, but those pro guys would just take a chance on a high schooler throwing 90.
Dude,
It's just crazy how much times have changed.
I know I don't want to digress us, but this was a conversation I had with someone not too long ago. Can you imagine, like Dimitri said, you touched a 5, it touched a 6. Like if I took Dimitri and I dropped him in 1940s professional baseball, how you would have just been a god. Like you'd have fucking petrified these people. You'd have been a witch.
You would have had
I'm a
the coolest
nobody. I'm a
nickname,
nobody. Like I remember Jared Carabas tweeted. Hold on, I remember Jared Carabas tweeted something, and was like Babe Ruth would shiver at the plate if he saw. I forget what the clip was.
It was,
but
I think it was Bruce Dark Gratterall. His
Is
like
that what it was?
102 mile an hour sinkers that he throws.
Yeah, and he was like Babe Ruth would shiver or whatever, tremble at the bottom. I'm like, dude, probably would,
without question.
Yeah,
but hey, Dayton Flyers, baby.
Dude, Dayton. I think we all three picked them to win the A10. Maybe no, I know Dimitri and I did.
Yep.
Jack picked his boys, but anyways, yeah, dude, Dayton looks good. By the way, Dayton has yet to break out their cool uniforms, which when they do, it's going to go viral. The fly baseball, is that what they call it? It's like a flying.
The Fly Boys.
The Flyboy.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Fly Boys. Okay.
Fly Boys went and beat the Vandy Boys. It was awesome.
Yeah. Great color combos. The red with the baby blue. That was nice. Vanderbilt, they've struggled to open the year. They lose a game to FAU in the weekend and probably should have lost 2. But, they come out, look like crap on Tuesday. They ended up winning today, but they almost blew like a 5-run lead today to Eastern Kentucky. But credit to Dayton, man. Like these wins mean something to these programs. And anytime you can go to Nashville and win on Vandy's turf, like that's something to be proud of. Now, it's credit to Vanderbilt for what they've done over the last decade and a half. They're in position where teams feel like they just won the World Series when they beat you on a Tuesday in February. But, it works both ways. So credit to Dayton, shocking Vanderbilt. But can we talk about this? Like, is Vanderbilt, I don't want to use the F word. I don't want to say frauds, but are we concerned about Vanderbilt this year?
Not at all. I think they'll be
It's
just
their bullpen, dude. I went back and looked at their box scores. The 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, they're giving up crooked numbers left and right. So that Vanderbilt bullpen needs to figure it out real quick before SEC play.
I think Vanderbilt will be just fine. I think most of these teams, it's fun to overreact, but like if you look at Mississippi State, of course they're struggling too. If you look at Ole Miss, they're struggling. But like when you get to May, most of these teams, either they're going to be good or they're going to be terrible. I don't think Vandy is going to be a team that's just going to miss Hoover or miss the regional. I think they're going to end up hosting. They're going to end up being just fine. That's just Vanderbilt. It's just a slow weekend. It's cold. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot of different factors that play into it. But I think Vanderbilt's too talented. They've got a good roster. They'll be just fine. But it's more fun to overreact right now.
The one thing I'll say about them is they're a little bit unique in the idea that they still kind of go the high school route. Like they go get the most talented high school kids in the country. So the only reason I wouldn't be worried is that like they understand that. So you have to let your young guys go fail. Because to your point, like, let's go throw the young guys in the back end because they've got back end stuff. But if they're not delivering come March, April, like, they're not going to throw in those innings.
Right.
That's the only reason I wouldn't hit the panic button yet. The only reason I'd be like, oh, they're not going to finish 1-2 is because the SEC is just that damn good. But I think they got time.
Yeah. It's just weird because I think the whole world is used to seeing Vanderbilt the first few weekends just being so professionally ready. Like Tim Corbin usually has the guys the first few weekends of the year just steamrolling teams. Like out of nowhere, like they're just all buttoned up, looking great, flying around the field, throwing strikes, and just closing ball games out. And it's just a little bit different pace for this season. But you're right. It's a long year. I'm not worried about him yet, but if this trickles into like March, you gotta worry a little bit.
But what if they struggle now? And we have our theory, and I still stand by it to this day, the hot, cold, hot theory. But some team could struggle now, face all the shit that comes at them. They throw all the shit at them. They catch all of it. They hit them, whatever. They come out of the mud and late March, and they just steamroll. That doesn't mean they're going to win the national championship because they got to go cold again before the end of the year. But those teams, usually they face a bunch of shit in the beginning. They'll be fine. When we get to April, May, you're going to see them in the upper tier of the SEC standings or whatever team it is.
I mean, it's all about getting hot at the right time. So we have the hot, cold, hot theory. Maybe, I mean, does it work? The cold, then just super hot? The cold to hot to super hot? Has that ever happened? No. I mean, LSU was pretty much hot all year last year.
Well,
No, LSU went hot, cold, hot.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, because you remember in the middle of the year, they lost a game to Kentucky. They couldn't win. They couldn't sweep a series.
Yeah, and then they did lose
They
back-to-back
lost.
midweeks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then they
okay,
lost to
you're
South
right.
Carolina. They lost a series to South Carolina. Couldn't sweep, or they almost lost series against Arkansas. They couldn't sweep Kentucky. Like they were in that phase where they just weren't great.
Hypothetically speaking, not me. I would never call them fraudulent because I definitely did, because I just thought their bullpen wasn't very good. And that may have been because of a hypothetical couple investments that didn't go my way. But I felt like that their bullpen wasn't going to be good enough. And then all of a sudden, those back end guys turned into
Thatcher Hurd. You can think Thatcher Hurd, but that was last year. We got to talk about 2024.
Yeah. Can we talk about this? Two things. One, Texas A&M is an Omaha team this year. They look fabulous, big, physical, strong dudes that all rake and mash. But where did Jace Lavalette, where did he get the nickname Lord Tubbington?
I have no idea where that came from.
I know there's a lot of Aggies listening. Please tell us the origin story of Lord Tubbington, because that's the greatest nickname I've ever heard at this level.
What is that?
I don't know. It rolls off the tongue well, though.
The only thing that I could think of is that it almost sounds like a character to like an ice cream like truck.
Dude, an ice cream tub. He just
Right? So that's what I was thinking. And then what stadium do they play in?
Bluebell.
Wow.
So that's my only theory that I have. So I could make it. I'll make a couple texts. Let's see if I can have anything confirmed by the end of it.
Let's try to get it before the end of the episode, because he hit his 5th homer in 4 days or 4 games. Dude, he is Matt Olson 2.0. The exact swing path, stance, the finish is identical. I got multiple texts from like people that still follow college baseball, MLB, and they were like, "Dude, whoever made this Matt Olson comparison is a genius." And I was like, "Yeah, it's identical." But
can I show the boys some love before you keep going to it? And it'll be
for sure.
The other comp that everyone was feeding me about you two that y'all plugged up, I don't know who threw it up there. The Roman Kimball and Roy Oswalt comp was nuts.
That was me.
I was just
mine. I am the player comp king. I've seen so much baseball.
But let's go ahead and put on the A chat, dude. Yep. The Royo was so spot on; it was insane.
Ben is the GOAT at player comps. He does it all the time.
I want to be a professional scout, but I don't want to do any of the scouting. I just want to do player comps. Like I'll throw like a Vinny Castillo out there, or I don't know, like a Torrey Hunter. I love doing Torrey Hunter player comps. But anyways,
and ugly comps are fun.
We need a Dan Uggla in college baseball. He was one of my all-time favorites.
I have a fun Dan Uggla story, but that's for after the pod. Sorry, I don't want to
Okay.
get more.
Crushing beer cans with your bicep.
Anything else happen? Anything else big happened on Tuesday?
No, I was just gonna say that Lord Tubington's got to be the favorite for the Golden Spikes right now. But then you also have Braden Montgomery, who's mashing in his new place at Texas A&M. So I'm gonna go out and just say Texas A&M is an Omaha team. They just have that feel to them.
No,
I think that was pretty much it. I mean, we can talk a little bit about Austin Peay real quick. I don't think we've really talked about him, but those boys are fun to watch.
We did.
No, we didn't talk about them.
Nah. Well, with home field, and there's 6 shirts.
They are 6 shirts. Jack, take us down the Austin Peay train just real quick, because you're the one that hyped him up. Talk about the coach, talk about the energy the players have, and I'll let you run with it for a little bit.
All right. So, Dimitri, I'll leave you with the Mountain Dew Man. That was your guy. Mountain Dew Man is an electric factory. But when he made the move from Oak State, and I know that I juiced him up pretty good on the preseason preview, I would be lying if there wasn't a slight bit of bias in my pick. Now, I've already made it very clear that I wear those biases as a badge of honor. But Lyle Miller Green, the ASUN preseason player of the year, he gets the start yesterday down at Duty Noble. Hits a dub piece. They go backside. Their offense is legit 1 through 8, and they all. You ever watch a team and go, man, how come everyone swings the exact same? Like everyone looks.
They all look the same, dude. They're all left-handed, and they all have the exact same swing.
Thank you. I'm telling you, when you watch them, you go, I don't know who the hitting coach is, but like whatever they're teaching philosophy-wise, they've bought in. Like the boys' buy-in is real. And like we talked about the 6, 7 guys that have come over from Oak State, like they've been able to build this culture. They built it. It doesn't happen, right? They didn't build Rome in one night. Like how many fucking cliches can I use? But in year 2, the boys are buzzing. And everyone's calling it upset to go down into Duty Noble and take 2 from them. They did not call this an upset on that bus ride back. I just tried FaceTime them. They didn't answer. I'm just letting you know, they expected to go win down there. And that's dangerous when you got a mid-major team that is blindly ignorant going into those big ballparks going, we're supposed to win. Like we are better than them. And that's scary.
That is scary. I wonder what Austin Peay's odds are to get to Omaha. Just to maybe sprinkle it a little bit. I saw enough. I think they look good.
Or Oral Robert?
Maybe this year's Oral Roberts. Is Oral Roberts is that a first name, last name?
No, oral is the verb and Roberts is the name.
No, it's not a verb. Don't be going down that path. It's a I think so. Yeah, Austin Peay. That's a first name, last name. Oral Roberts, I'm going to assume, is a first name, last name. That's the Omaha team this year.
I'm in.
A couple other things I want to talk about on the midweek that I've just remembered. One, absolute shame that Texas Tech, Oregon State at 1:00 Eastern today was not televised anywhere. It's at a major league ballpark. There was nobody could watch the game, like on streaming, on whatever. Like that's a joke. That should never happen ever again. Imagine if there was a top 25 basketball game that just was not televised.
Shit. They even film games on freaking the Bahamas Island. They film games from military aircraft carrier. They film games from wherever the hell they are. But we can't get a game in Globe Life Field to get telecast.
It's a joke. And then last thing, the Dallas Baptist Oklahoma game yesterday was electric. Dallas Baptist ended up winning. I feel like they always win midweeks, especially against Power 5 teams. But Nathan Humphreys hit a go-ahead grand slam in, I believe, the 7th or 8th inning to break a 7-7 tie. I think it was bottom of the 8th. So the Dallas Baptist Patriots, Dallas Bombers University, they look alive and well. Possibly going to be the number 1 mid-major team next week if they take care of business this weekend. But people are saying Campbell's taken down the last 2 mid-major number 1 teams, so maybe Campbell makes the jump. Gotta wait and see.
But if you were a betting man, if someone put in front of you Campbell, Dallas Baptist, East Carolina to make Omaha, who would you pick? East Carolina's been close, but how many times does it take? Dallas Baptist might have one of the best teams they've had in a while this year. Campbell, maybe no target on their back. Maybe they can just sneak their way through.
That's tough. I mean, right now, resume-wise, you have to say Campbell. winning 2 out of 3 against UC Santa Barbara, and winning a midweek against East Carolina.
4th straight, by the way. Just wanted to put that
Yeah,
out.
they own that rivalry. They own it. It was a fun game to watch back and forth, but in the back of my head, I was like, Campbell's going to win this game. They always do. So, anyways, let's move on to the tournaments.
The best Dallas Baptist team I've seen in the last 3 years.
Yeah, they're a complete team. That is a fact. So let's do this. I'm going to go to FridayStarters.com. I'm going to share my screen just real quick. So if you're on the YouTube, you can kind of look along with us. But they're great. This website's awesome. It has every single tournament. Sure. So we'll start here with the Andre Dawson Classic. It's a Jackie Robinson training complex, Vero Beach, Florida. You got NC Prairie View A&M, Alabama State, Southern Grambling, and Florida A&M. It says some games on MLB Network, so that's big time. Where is Vero Beach, Florida?
Is that near Jacksonville? Or no, is that Ponte Vedra?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'll take Florida A&M to win this tournament. I love the Rattlers, even though they got stomped by Troy in the midweek.
Didn't we do this last week? Or that was Cactus Jack.
Yeah,
Cactus Jack at Minute Maid.
Give me the Rattlers.
Ooh, give me the CAA. I like A&T. Wait, I don't even know if A&T is still in the CAA. No, yes, they are. I think they are.
I think they are too. Now, Alabama State's got to be the favorite here, even though they got smacked by Alabama today. But yeah, I don't know. I'll watch the games if they're on MLB Network. That's cool. Always a good broadcast. Now we have the Sugarland Classic, Constellation Field, home of used to be the Skeeters. Now they're what? The Space Cowboys.
Sweet.
Sugarland Space Cowboys. But we got Illinois Chicago, who we saw PFT commenter hold the 2 runs from Pardon My Take. So it's them, Lamar, Stephen F. Austin, UTSA, Creighton, and Houston Christian. This is going to be a fun tournament. I love all these little teams like this. Creighton should win this tournament, but Stephen F. Austin's been playing pretty good. I'm going to roll with my Houston Christian Huskies. Lance Berkman got ejected from this tournament last year. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was jumping up and down yelling at the umpire. And I posted that video that my brother took while he was there. It was hilarious.
Can we give some love to UIC? PFT
they look good this year.
Dominate them, and then they come out opening weekend, take 2 out of 3 at versus Kansas in Corpus Christi. I don't know why they're playing a neutral field. To get both teams just can't host that game, too cold. But yeah, PFT commenter and the Barstool boys got the Flames from Chicago ready for that opening weekend.
That's a fact.
People are, when I say people, I mean people are starting to murmur collusion. I'm curious if the boys brought out the swords just to make him feel a little bit better about himself. But when I watched, I was equally impressed with the athleticism on the bump, but also a little bit worried because the boys looked a little rough and they kind of roughed him up this weekend. But yeah, I'm going with the boy. Give me Big Puma. I want the Huskies.
I'm gonna go with UTSA here. I think people like. I don't know why, Ben, you and I, we usually show UTSA some love, but they're always too late. It's always like when they're doing really good, we're like, wow, the Roadrunners are here. But it's like, I feel like this team deserves a little more respect. Like Houston Christian ass, Lamar average, Creighton. Okay, like I'm gonna give UTSA a shot to win this thing.
Hey, Houston Christian won a series against Lemoyne this past weekend, and then they followed up. They take a 1-0 lead against Texas in the midweek, and then I think they lost 20-2.
No way! I said no way they win this game.
They lost 20-2. So it is what it is. Now we have the Tony Gwynn Legacy Tournament right in Dimitri's backyard, San Diego, California. Some good teams here. We got Bakersfield, who's probably the worst team in this, but Missouri, LMU, which I'm blank. Loyola Marymount. I was like, what does LMU stand for? San Diego State, and then UC San Diego, who I love. I love UC San Diego, even though they're down 4-6 right now. I got the TV on to San Diego right now. And then also
they're
Utah's
down
in this.
6-4?
Yeah, they're down 6-4 in the top of the 7th.
They blew it, huh?
Yeah, Utah is also in this. It's not listed, but boom, right there. I'll take UC San Diego.
Go ahead, Jack.
I go chalk. I'll take Mizzou. I feel like they're supposed to go win this thing, right? Like I know that they're bottom of the barrel in the SEC, but
Dude, Mizzou lost 2 out of 3 to Cal Poly this past weekend.
Yeah, I'll go chalk. I'll take Mizzou. I think they bounce back. I saw that as well. I don't know a thing about Cal Poly too, which is probably not great for my pick, but
Dude, I'm all in on UC San Diego. I really like them. I think they've got the talent, but you can't win every weekend. And I'll do this. I'm going to go UC San Diego to win it, but I think Missouri can do some damage as well. But I don't know how you can pick a winner when UC San Diego and Missouri are playing each other twice, and other teams are not playing twice. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like a real tournament,
Not a
obviously.
real
This isn't even like a real round robin. Looks like they're just playing a bunch of games, and it says multiple ballparks too. So
Yeah.
it's just the name. Tony Gwynn, rest in peace, legend. Glad he's got a tournament named after him. This one will be fun. The Round Rock Classic, Carbach Round Rock Classic, Dell Diamond. Sneaky good teams across the board here. Like, I know Kansas just dropped 2 out of 3 to UIC, but I think they'll end up being pretty good. Very JUCO heavy roster. Kentucky actually came back and won in the midweek. They were down like 7-0, 6-0 to Morehead State, but ended up coming back and winning. Washington State, I think, will be pretty good this year, and then we all know Texas State's solid, especially on the weekends. Texas State, kind of the home team here. It's not too far from Round Rock to San Marcos. I don't know. I mean, Kentucky should win this. They were a super regional team last year. I'll take Kentucky.
Give me the Bobcats from Texas State. I saw enough.
Those are your boys right there. The Lupton guys are going to give you hell for this. They hate how much you like Texas State.
But why? I don't even like Texas State that much. I don't understand that.
What do you mean you don't like them? You pick them every single week.
That's not true. That is so not true. I remember I took UTSA over Texas State one week, and I took Georgia Southern over Texas State last year in the series. Like I am a very unbiased when it comes to Sun Belt. I don't know why they think that, but they tweeted at me in the first inning like, "Oh, what a terrible pick." Texas State almost won that damn game last night, and I was so hoping they would, just so I could dunk back on them. But yeah, I like Texas State this weekend. Kentucky looked really good against USC Upstate, who is a solid team. They smacked them up and down all weekend long. So Kentucky should win it, but I like Texas State. I like the winner of that Saturday night game to win this tournament.
Dimitri, don't let him bully you off the block. Go with your guns. I like Texas State too, bud.
Thanks, man.
Hey, Senor Luptons, I'm a big fan of the Horned Frogs, but I'm just telling you right now, Ryan Farber and Aaron Lugo, two dudes that hit in that Texas State lineup, that rake. They might not be TCU caliber, but I'm just telling you. And I think they built some confidence because I don't think there's any way they lose to Kansas that opening night. You get a win against a Power 5 team, you start to believe a little bit. And I think they beat Kentucky on Saturday because, to your point, that'll be the game of the weekend.
Yeah, it's a much different. Like last year, wasn't this the Iowa, LSU, and there was another really good team?
Iowa, LSU, Sam Houston State, and Cal.
And Cal, yep. Yeah, like, and it's on the D1 baseball streaming site. I think what does it cost?
Broke their damn site last year. You remember that? LSU.
Yeah, people were pissed because it was Paul Skeens on Friday, first game, and it was right after. I think it was the second weekend of the year. Everybody was pumped after his opening weekend start, and I think they missed the top of the first inning because the site broke or got hacked. That's what it was.
LSU fans were raving hell, dude. They were in Kendall Rogers mention all morning.
They were like, "You charged us $19.99 to watch this, and you can't even show us Paul Skeens."
What is this shit? And Kendall was like, "We got hacked." So I don't know if that was just a little thing. I think they just got overloaded.
That's what I would go to. That would be my excuse. Hey, we got hacked. It's not me. But it was cool. The next day, I remember watching like the 11 a.m. game, and Brody Brecht threw against LSU and won the game. Right? Iowa won that game.
They smoked them.
So that was like Brody Brecht's coming out party. People were like, "Dude, this guy's throwing 101." It's crazy. But yeah, I don't know how much it costs, but it actually was a really good broadcast. Like D1 Baseball did a good job.
That's awesome.
And I don't know how they're doing this, but they're also broadcasting the Jacksonville Classic, which is just right down the road from me. I might actually end up going to one of these games, like maybe Saturday.
Cool.
Let's see. Let me look.
Virginia, Iowa might be good. Morgan.
Yeah, Virginia, Iowa would be good. Dude, don't sleep on Wichita State or Auburn. Like, they're both really good clubs too.
What's with the Wichita love? I thought we were trashing them preseason. We were talking about how much they're going to suck.
Well, they looked really good. Dude, they lost every single person from their team last year with the coaching change. I'm pretty sure their whole roster entered the transfer portal. So they brought in all new guys, brought in a brand new coach, and just from I didn't watch them play, but just from the highlights they were posted on Twitter last week, it seemed like they're legit. So I'll believe the hype.
I'm not buying it.
Then is that at the Jumbo Shrimp Stadium? Because if so, that's cool. That's awesome,
dude. It's a sweet setup too. So it's cool. Downtown Jacksonville, they have like a minor league basketball / hockey arena, concert arena. Right next to that is this stadium, like right in the middle of downtown, and it's legit. Like they were doing. I went for New Year's, and they were doing a lot of construction on the outfield bleachers, and then right behind that is the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium. So you got like 3 really nice stadiums all in a row within
do not give Jacksonville a single inch of love. That is a armpit of Florida. It is almost as bad as Tallahassee, but not quite as bad. Jacksonville is a shithole place. It is not a place you want to go.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Dude, Jacksonville sucks. Jacksonville sucks.
Compared to what, though? Sucks compared to Wichita, Kansas? Sucks compared to Iowa City, Iowa?
Don't sleep on Des Moines, Iowa, or Iowa City.
Ben, I heard
Des Moines.
Ben,
Wait, time out. Where is Iowa? 30-second timeout. It's Iowa City, right? Or is that Iowa State?
The Hawkeyes are in Iowa City.
No, they're in Ames. Isn't it Ames, Iowa?
I think it's just outside Iowa City.
We're gonna get so much crap for this.
Dude, you know what? Screw it. Google Maps. We'll get on top of this right now.
Yeah, that's why I called a 30-second timeout. My first charged. It is in Iowa City, Iowa.
Yeah, and then Iowa State is in Ames.
Ames. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Iowa, and then I mean you've got Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and
Council Bluff, right next to Omaha.
Council Bluffs in Iowa City.
Yep. Anyways, I'm going to take Auburn to win this tournament. I think people are sleeping on Auburn. I feel like they're ready to surprise a lot of people. This will be their coming out party. I remember I have them in Omaha this year. I like the Tigers. Ike Irish mashes baseballs.
And Chris Stanfield, dynamic player at Auburn as well. I do like. Can you believe Joseph Gonzalez is still there? Do you remember him?
Yeah, the pitcher. He's been there for 5 years. It was like being a Friday guy.
When they were at Oregon State for that super regional.
Yeah. That was 2022, I believe.
Like the Auburn team.
I like Iowa. And if D1 baseball, I don't think they're listening, but if they want me to come down and broadcast Friday night, Brody Breck, I will.
Dude, that'll be fun. Auburn, Iowa, Friday.
Where are you broadcasting this weekend?
Dude, good old Chucktown, baby. Charleston Southern, Citadel, and CFC. A little trifecta guy this weekend. ESPN Plus and Flow. Tune in.
You own that city. You own Charleston.
It's time to leave.
All right, we got the Kleberg Bank College Classic at Whataburger Field, Corpus Christi, Texas. Another one that, I mean, this feels like a tournament. I have no stats to back this up. I feel like A&M Corpus Christi always plays really well here. They're the home team, and I'm not saying they're going to win this tournament, but obviously, like Washington and Maryland are way more talented. Pitt's really good. Well, not really good. Pitt's good enough to win games, but don't sleep on the Islanders, the Dervers. But I will take Maryland here. I think that they win Friday. I think that they win Saturday. It's probably going to come down to that Sunday afternoon game, Maryland-Washington.
I didn't mean to interject there, but I was just so excited to give the people my pick in this Kleberg Bank College Classic. But I like the Maryland Terrapins here.
The Terps.
I'm going weird. I'm picking this solely because I saw their jerseys last weekend. I like Pitt. I think they're actually going to be a little bit better too. I thought they looked kind of like scrappy last.
Let's see what Pitt. I want to see what Pitt did last weekend because I know they won a game. Where did they play? They played in a tournament, I believe.
They were down in
Oh, they're
Florida.
3-0.
Yeah,
It's
I
3-0.
know.
They swept Maine. That's what it was.
Yeah,
But they played in Florida.
yeah.
Yep.
Neutral site vibes. They took care of business. They beat the fighting former Jeremy Peñas, but their unis look good, so I'll take Pitt.
All right, nice. All right, and then we have the let's see, Oregon State, Arkansas, Friday night. Everybody's gonna love watching that. It's on Flow Sports. But boy, it's gonna be a big one.
That is a banger of a game.
Like Oregon State just beat the crap out of Texas Tech in this ballpark.
Ben,
It is Globe Life
the
Field.
this is the first time Oregon State and Arkansas have matched up since the very famous, not infamous, very famous play in right field foul territory in the 2018 College World Series.
Yeah, and for Arkansas, I mean, you got to have Hagen Smith bounce back, right? I mean, he looked terrible last Friday, which it surprised so many people because he was
Okay.
nails all fall, all preseason, and then James Madison got to him early. But I expect a big bounce back game here for Hagen Smith. It's going to be a pretty big crowd, I think. I think there's going to be a lot of people at these games. And Oregon State, like they just mash. Like Travis Bazzana and company, they are very offensive. I wish we got to see them play today against Texas Tech, but
No.
the score just says it all. Anyways, I think I wrote about this game in the college baseball script, to be honest. Isn't this the one where I said Hagen Smith goes complete game shutout, tosses a ball to Sidney Sweeney?
Yeah,
He goes on. Yep.
yeah.
So this is the first game in the college baseball script I blogged about. So if he goes complete game, they win the game on a foul pop-up that he catches, then the script is real. But anyways, you also have Oklahoma State and Michigan in this. They open it up on Friday. I don't think Michigan's like very good. I don't remember what they did this past weekend, but I know it was not impressive. Let me check real fast. Who do you guys have? I'm gonna take Arkansas to win this, even though I think Oregon State will end up winning the tournament.
Dude, you cannot convince me to bet against Oregon State. They look so good. So I do really like Arkansas. I think that game Friday is going to be much watch TV. Oregon State, Arkansas. Friday. Oregon State and Arkansas match up for the first time since 2018 when Arkansas they got their heart shattered. So there's a little bit of history there, a little nostalgia for both teams. But give me Oregon State to win this. I do think Arkansas. You know what? The winner of that Friday game wins this tournament. Oregon State and Arkansas. The winner Friday night wins it.
So I feel the same way. I also feel like I think Oklahoma State's gonna be fine. I know they went 1-2 last weekend. I think they bounce back, and I think they beat Arkansas. Actually, here I'm a storyline guy. Ready? Because that would be a huge upset for them. And I think Arkansas, in order to win the national championship based on latitude and longitude, as our guy Ben has mentioned, in order for them to do that, I think people need to jump off of the bandwagon for a while. So I think they struggle this weekend. Similar to Jace down at A&M, I think Bazzana's got to go bonkers. I think the Bazzana Golden Spike train goes nuts, and he hits 2 homers against Arkansas, and everyone's like, "Oh, I knew it. This guy's going to be great. He's going to be the Golden Spikes winner on the West Coast this year." So I think Oregon State wins this weekend, and then I think Arkansas drops another to Oklahoma State on Saturday. So, but yeah, give me Oregon State. But I see the storylines; they're clear.
This is also a field that I feel like Oklahoma State always plays good at.
Yeah,
they do.
They won tonight 8-4, and I don't know, like they looked like crap Friday and Saturday against Sam Houston, but Sunday they looked great. They won tonight, so yeah, keep an eye out for Oklahoma State. But how'd they do? Never mind. I think they're 2-2 this year. Anyways, Jack, what are you doing Friday night, like around 8 Eastern?
Oh, do we do it? Do we do it? Yeah,
I'm thinking about it.
I got a game at 4. You brought it up earlier about how if you need an option and they're not broadcasting your favorite game in the country, our guy Ben Upton's got the solution for you.
Yeah. So here's a little teaser that I mean, it's going to eventually happen. But so Jack and I have been planning this for a while. We're doing a live YouTube show. It's going to be called Club Bromaha, and I know I mentioned it on the pod before, but Club Bromaha has now specialized in waiting for a game where it might be on Flow Sports, it might be on Pac-12 Network, it might be on a streaming service that you have to pay for that you don't want to pay for. So instead of paying for it, I think we're gonna go live on YouTube, and we'll share our screen. There won't be any game action, like, you're not gonna be able to see the plays or anything, but, the score bug or whatever it's called, StatCast? Not StatCast, what's it called?
The
Stat
simulcast?
Broadcast?
Yeah.
Where you can see the scoreboard and, like, who's on base or whatever. But Jack and I are gonna do a radio broadcast where we will be watching the game because we pay for Flow Sports and Pac-12 Network and Big Ten Network and all these. And, you guys can come along and listen to us broadcast the game. So, maybe Friday night, that Arkansas-Oregon State game might be the perfect one,
I think it's the
where
worst.
we sit back. Let me give an example here. I'm sure there's a live score somewhere going on. Hold on. Like, I don't know. There's not very many games going on right now, but you know what I'm talking about. Like, you go to the school's website
Yep,
and
yep,
it
yep.
has the lineup card, box score, whatever, and we'll broadcast the game. So it's not guaranteed, but this would be the weekend to do it Friday night. And anyways, so that kind of concludes the tournament talk there. We're about an hour into the pod, and let's do the weekend series pick 'em and then shut this thing down. Sound good? So the weekend series pick 'em, I want to give a couple shout outs because we had 7 people go 6-0 in our weekend series pick 'em competition. E. Shockley 24, J. Fitzhenry, A. Bennett 116, AJB 1007, CL Shoemaker 01, J. Rupert 32, Garrett B 142206, all went 7-0. Or
6.
sorry, 6-0, 6-0. 7 people went 6-0. I went 1-5, Dimitri went 5-1, and Jack went 3-3. So, by those rules, Dimitri has to go first, and you have to pick first, Jack picks second, and I get to pick last. So the series this week, the 6 of them, and these are tough, fellas. Like, these are not easy at all.
They're fun
And
though.
yeah, so we have East Carolina at North Carolina, UCLA at TCU, UConn at Cal, St. John's at Houston, Fresno at Fullerton, and Rutgers at Old Dominion. So let's start right there. Rutgers at Old Dominion, Dimitri. Who you got?
We're starting from the bottom.
Yeah, we'll start from the bottom. We'll finish with ECU at UNC.
One thing I have to say before I make my pick, when you just went through those, I literally wanted just to click all the home teams and just click submit.
That's what
Like,
Jack
like
did,
that's
I think.
how like this board is looking at. It's like I love every single home team here. But Rutgers, Old Dominion. Old Dominion looked good this weekend. Rutgers also looked good this weekend. They both have some really talented players. I'm going to fade the public because I think the public is going to take Old Dominion and take the run with the Monarchs. So I'm going to take Rutgers on the road.
Well, I appreciate you giving away my draft strategy, Dimitri. It's all about the Monarchs. They got beat pretty good by UVA tonight. They bounced back. I think they can sweep the series. I think they're that good.
Who?
ODU. ODU. You
ODU.
like the home team, Dimitri? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is here. I mean, this is
Old Dominion sweeping, huh?
Yeah, I do. I think so. They look good in G-Dub and the A10. It just means more.
All right, so here's a little story time for everybody. So Old Dominion played against Virginia today, right? And I was all about Old Dominion upsetting Virginia. And before the game, I was like, this is a prime spot where Virginia is about to go down and play against Auburn and Wichita State and Iowa in that Jacksonville tournament. Big look ahead. Old ODU is good. They're offensive. They can hit the crap out of the ball. I'm expecting Old Dominion to win the game, right? Well, they end up losing 8-0. I found out in the first inning, the top of the first inning, I was like, Old Dominion has 0 chance of winning this game because Virginia had like a ribbon on their hat. I think one of their players' dad passed away the day before.
Never had a shot.
And, rest in peace to him. You never want to hear about a player losing a father, this and that. Like, I could never imagine what that kid's going through. But, like, when they announced that they were wearing the ribbons, it was like, oh, Virginia's going to run roll them. And they basically did. They won 8-0. So old ODU had no chance of winning today, just gambler's mindset. So what I do know, Rutgers is good.
They are.
Rutgers recruits really cool. Like they recruit the Mike Trout types. Now I'm not saying they recruit Mike Trout, but like the combination of speed and power. Like all their guys are physical, big, strong, fast. But Old Dominion just doesn't lose at home. They know how to hit in that ballpark. Every year they're top 5, I think, in home runs. And this is a prime spot where I think ODU is comfortable playing at home. And I don't know if they sweep, but I think they score a ton of runs. I think they win 2 out of 3. So give me ODU. Monarchs win 2 out of 3. So that's great news for Dimitri.
Can we have a conversation about how our pod, by the way, 5-1, 3-3, 1-5, and we really did a great job of painting all ends of the spectrum. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, Dimitri kicked my ass last year in this. 2 years ago, I think I dominated. Last year, he dominated me. So I'm glad Jack's in the mix. Maybe someone will keep it competitive. But anyways, let's do Fresno at Fullerton. Fresno just lost a midweek to Sac State. And Fullerton won 2 out of 3 against whoever it was, Stanford, but I think their midweek got canceled.
Yeah, they got lucky because San Jose State was supposed to hop on a bus Sunday night, drive all the way to NorCal, play Fullerton Tuesday, or Monday night, but it got canceled. It was about to be an 0-4 weekend. We talked about this on Sunday. But I really liked how
yeah, I pulled up the weekend series pick 'em. I don't know why I did this earlier. So if you're on YouTube, you can see the 6 series and ignore my picks right now. I was just clicking away. But ODU is my
you can't show us your picks.
No, these are not my picks. I was clicking random stuff. I haven't submitted yet.
I really like Fullerton. They looked great this weekend, but I'm just Stanford stinks. They're not going to be that good this year. Fresno State, old team. We were high on Fresno preseason. We were not that high on Fullerton. So I'm going to roll with Fresno State. Just purely, I'm going to stick with our gun based on what we like preseason.
I like Fullerton, and I disagree with you. I actually think Stanford's gonna be okay. I think they were actually my Pac-12 pick just because I think everyone has kind of faded them, and I know everyone kind of jumped ship, but from like a portal standpoint. But I like him. I think Stanford's gonna be okay, and Fullerton on 15 on them on Saturday. They've been 15-6. I don't think that's a fluky win. They ended up getting beat, I think 4-2 on Sunday. So I like Fullerton at home here.
I'm going to have to lean with Dimitri, and it's just because, and look, the preseason mid-major poll, like obviously doesn't mean much, but we did put a lot of research into it. And I'm pretty sure we had the conversation, like, do we like Fullerton, Fresno, Sac State? There was like 8 California teams that we were looking at. And just on paper, it felt like Fresno State was the better team. So I am going to go with the Bulldogs. I think Fullerton will be a popular pick, and I don't blame them. I don't blame anybody for picking Fullerton. They're at home, but like, it kills me not to pick Fullerton here.
It kills me, dude. It kills me.
I think Fresno State is the better team, but man, have I been wrong a lot lately. So Fullerton fans have got to love that I'm going with Fresno State right now. Next series we have is St. John's at Houston. Everybody knows St. John's upset Florida Friday night last week, and then the next 2 games got canceled. They did not play a midweek. I don't know why they didn't play a midweek, but they're 1-0. Meanwhile, Houston is 4-0. Played a pretty soft schedule. They scored 9 runs without getting an out against Prairie View A&M on Tuesday to start the game. It was 9-0, nobody out, top of or bottom first. But anyways, this should be a pretty competitive matchup. Dimitri, go ahead and kick us off. Who you got?
You know what's funny? If you were to talk to St. John's head coach Thursday before opening day and said, "Hey, you guys are going to win Friday night. You're going to shock everybody. Everyone could think you're really good. The rest of the weekend's going to get canceled. You guys are going to leave Gainesville 1-0." You think he would have been like, "Nah, I want to play all three, or I'll take it. We're 1-0, and we go back home 1-0 with a win over Florida." What do you take?
I think he probably would rather play the 3 games just to see what he's got. I mean, right now he knows he's got a solid Friday guy with a couple good bullpen pieces, but
Sure,
after
but
that,
secretly.
I'm
I mean,
paying.
secretly he wants the series win at Florida, right? Like 1-0 is a series win. You get to hang that on a resume, make sure RPI look good. But at the end of the day, it's
Yeah.
I mean, you want to see early in the year what you guys have, and with being a northern team like St. John's, they haven't had a ton of on the field stuff going on. So
With all of that talk being said, give me the Fighting Cougs from Houston. I think that team is going to be hot going into Big 12 play, and then they're going to get humbled. But I think they're going to shock people, and they're going to make them think, "Wow, this Houston team's really ready for Big 12 play." So I like Houston to keep it going.
Yeah, I'm with you, Dimitri. I think Houston is actually. I think they're really good. I know we kind of talked about them being frisky in the Big 12, and it's almost like they can hang around the middle of the pack. That's got to be big for them because I think the Big 12 is going to be really good this year. But the only reason I'm a little concerned about the Cougs is kind of what Ben mentioned earlier. Like, is this like a trap weekend in the sense that they're already looking at Vandy and Texas and LSU next weekend? That's going to be in Houston. Up at Minute Maid. So, but Trey Jones hit a ball last night against Prairie View, and I know that they scored a ton of runs, but there was like 111 off the bat. He was an A&M Islanders transfer in there, and he's a big, just really strong first baseman. And they got bigger in the portal, and I think that they really hit the shit around the ballpark this weekend. So give me the Cougs too.
yeah, I'm going with the Cougars too, just because I think their pitching is actually back to like 2015 to 2017 Houston Cougars pitching, where they were hosting regionals, make a super regional, all that. They played I know they played Binghamton the first weekend, right? And most people that don't follow college baseball, or maybe you do follow college baseball, you kind of write off Binghamton. But I mean, Binghamton is the favorite for the American East, in my opinion, to win it. And like they have some dudes as well. Houston won 8-4, 8-2, 7-0. So, and then of course they win 27-1 in against Prairie View yesterday. So I'm buying into this Houston pitching staff enough. I haven't seen enough of St. John's. Like I know St. John's was electric in their upset win against Florida, but I think if it went 3 games, I think they get blown out the next 2 because Florida is legit. And I don't know. I think it's just a different mindset when you see 1-0 St. John's or 1 win against Florida versus if you saw 1-2 St. John's up
Yep.
against 4-0 Houston. I think it would change the mindset. So give me the Cougs at home. And I mean, this is a big look ahead. Like Houston could be looking ahead because they have UTSA midweek next week. Plus, like you said, I think they play Vanderbilt, Louisiana Lafayette, and either Texas State or LSU in that College Classic in Houston the next week. So, just give me the Cougs at home. But it would not shock me to see St. John's actually win the series and like solidify themselves as a good team. So.
Yep.
Anyways, we got 3 series left. We got UConn at Cal. Feels weird to have this matchup, East Coast versus West Coast. Cal's got 2 superstars though, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. But I'll let Dimitri pick first.
I mean, just go ahead and make your pick then. You just couldn't hold it in. Just go ahead and make your pick.
I like Cal. Like they
There
dominated
we
BYU
go.
tonight. They dominated BYU 8-0. Like they're a super offensive team. 2 probably either first, second, or third team All Americans on the offensive side of the ball. I like Cal. I've never bought into UConn, and people hate me for it sometimes, but I just there's been I think 1 super good UConn team over the last 5 years. The rest just play in a crappy conference and they make their way to a regional. But they did make a super regional 1 year, so I'll tip my cap to that. But go ahead, guys.
Give
Y'all
me
have the
Cal.
floor.
That's it. I don't have anything else to say. Give me Cal.
Yeah, I'll take Cal too. I thought their win against Kansas State was super impressive. Like it's why I'm a terrible gambler. It's why like I'm not probably like too edgy. I thought Kansas State was going to come out and wipe the floor with them. I thought they were a one trick pony at the top of the offense, and I thought they looked really good. So I'll take Cal. I ate my sock after last weekend.
Do we all just pick Cal and Houston?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, more games, and the home teams are looking pretty good in those too.
I just want to say one more thing. This is actually a really underrated weekend series. I do like this series a lot between UConn and Cal. I think UConn is a good team, and I think Cal is trending up big time. So I think this is actually a really good series. Like, if people want to have interest in finding series to watch, this could be a good one, like at 8, 9 o'clock on the East Coast.
I would say if this was played at a neutral site or at UConn, I would probably end up picking UConn to win the series. It's just the travel because I'm pretty sure UConn is
They're
flying
always on
from
the road.
Florida. I think they're flying from Florida to California, and like you just lose a lot of practice time. You get out of rhythm, out of schedule. Cal's just sitting up there at home mashing baseball, so that's why I'm taking Cal. All right, we got the two big ones now. UCLA at TCU. I'll let Dimitri go first. I do have a couple opinions about this series, but I'll give you the floor.
TCU could easily be 1-3 right now. Easily be 1-3 right now. At best, 2-2 they should be right now. Give me UCLA. UCLA looked good this weekend. UCLA's got the pitching. They've got a little bit of the hitting. They've got what it takes to fit their mojo, which is their bread and butter. Pitch, play small ball, get 2 out base knocks, and score a run. That's what UCLA does. TCU, I'm not sold on them. This is going to be their weekend to get punched in the mouth. All right, let's regroup. Let's get better at the little thing, and we'll be good in the long run. But give me UCLA.
I'm so happy that you said that because I had this storyline queued up because it popped up on my feed all weekend on Twitter. Trey Richardson, a former Horned Frog from a season ago, kind of went bonkers. Saw some people ripping on TCU all weekend over Twitter. Okay, you guys forget that this team was 23-20 a year ago. So shout out to Trey Richardson reminding the people because in that game they come back, they win 10-9. Peyton Chatinier had 2 homers. Carson Bowen's one of the best catchers in the country. Am I worried about them pitching wise? No, Kirk Saarloos is a dog. Like they're gonna be fine. I'll take the home team again. And Trey Richardson had me ready to run through a wall on Twitter the other day. So I'm all in on the Horned Frogs.
Yeah. So I'm picking TCU as well. And the reason why is I think they already had their scare. Like TCU goes opening weekend coming off the Omaha hype. They're returning a bunch of guys that get Peyton Tully out of the transfer portal. People look at their starting rotation and they're like, man, these guys are some dudes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bullpen's great, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think they already got punched in the mouth. Like Florida Gulf Coast punched them in the mouth first, all 3 games. And Texas State, like, competed hard and should have possibly won that game too on Tuesday. So I think maybe that was the wake-up call. They possibly were looking ahead to this UCLA series. I mean, this is a big one. I think TCU comes out. The starters make it out of the 3rd inning, which is step 1. If all 3 starters make it to the 5th or 6th inning, then like you gotta love their chances. So I'll take TCU at home. I think that UCLA, even though people are underrating them, they're still. I mean, talent-wise, TCU has more talent. So I'll take the Horned Frogs.
You mean like back-to-back-to-back top 5 recruiting classes? That's the UCLA you're speaking of right there.
Right, but TCU also had like a top 5 transfer portal class that UCLA did not.
Transfer portal. Everybody transfer portal.
Dude, that's all that matters nowadays.
No, Dimitri, all you gotta say is 5-1, man. You got the upper hand, and I got a weird feeling me and Big Swing and Nick Ben are riding with the public, which is probably an issue. But this feels so obvious this week, man.
Yeah, it kind of does. The last series here, East Carolina at UNC. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they played last year in a 3-game series, and I think
East Carolina smoked them.
Wait, what happened?
East Carolina smoked North Carolina last year.
Oh, did they? I was thinking UNC won the series.
No, East Carolina beat them.
Well, there goes my strategy.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, let me know because I had it where UNC smashed them last year.
They swept them Friday and Sunday. Saturday got rained out.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that.
Two
Okay, I do
one-run
remember
games. So I apologize. They didn't smoke them, but I think a sweep is equivalent to getting smoked.
I agree.
that. Yeah, for sure.
So, yep.
So lead us off.
Oh, dude, they played that game 3 at the end of the year. They rescheduled it. North Carolina beat them 2-1. Damn, dude, I'm all over the place right now. I'm all over the place. They still got smoked. You win the theory, you smoke them.
Stop it.
You get where I'm going with it. Give me North Carolina. I like them this year to return the favor and at least get 2.
I agree. I think Vance Honeycutt looked pretty much as good as advertised over the weekend. He had a ball that was just absolutely peppered the other way. I feel like the Jungle's going to be upset with us. And I'm a mid-major guy at heart. I really am. I swear. But it's just hard for me to call East Carolina mid-major. And to Dimitri's point, I do think this is a matchup that I feel like North Carolina's like, I think we're kind of tired of like these guys getting the better of us. So I do think North Carolina wins. And I think Vance Honeycutt has another big weekend.
This one's tough, boys. My heart says go with East Carolina. It feels like East Carolina is going to bounce back after a tough midweek loss against Campbell. Like just brutal back and forth game, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, but my brain is saying take North Carolina. I think North Carolina probably wants to avenge last year losing 2 out of 3. Maybe you guys can talk this out with me. I have to fade you guys, right? In order to pick up ground in the standings. I'm 1-5, Jack's 3-3, Dimitri 5-1. I just want to see that pirate logo on the graphic that you're going to make. Give me East Carolina. Give me East Carolina on the road.
Just so you know,
Pirates.
Friday night at the Bosch, Saturday in Fayetteville, neutral site, Sunday in Clark LeClaire.
Oh, okay. I love East
Wait,
Carolina.
that does, yeah.
I thought it was at UNC.
No.
Oh, then I love East Carolina. Give me the Pirates. Throw that pirate logo on the graphic under my name. Give me a win, boys.
Maybe that's a bad college baseball fan on my end. Do they do this every year?
I guess so. I don't know.
What do they do? What every year?
They do the home, neutral, and the home.
Yeah, they're doing the South Carolina Clemson.
Same thing, Clemson, South Carolina.
Well, to my point, the Clemson Carolina thing was a huge deal for me growing up, where they'd play one in Clemson, one in Carolina, and then they used to play it down here in Charleston at Joe Riley Park. Now they switch between Greenville. But wouldn't you be like super slighted if you were Duke, if like North Carolina? I mean, I guess it's an ACC matchup and it doesn't break conference ties, I guess. But like, wouldn't you want like your main rival to do that?
Yeah, I mean they're ACC rivals. They can't play each other. The only other team that they could even consider would be a North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's true. And they always play that game at in Charlotte.
Yep.
Which is always really fun.
Imagine a Carolina versus South Carolina. Let me hold on. Let me say it again. Carolina versus South Carolina playing a Charlotte weekend series every year. Once again, Carolina versus South Carolina.
Winner gets to be the real Carolina.
No.
Yeah, we did that last year. I remember now, and South Carolina
won.
They were playing for the right to be called Carolina. So you're a fraud, Dimitri.
I'm not a fraud. That was your rule. That wasn't my rule.
I think it was your rule. I don't think I came up with that.
I did not come up with that because Carolina is Carolina.
It must have been the intern. I don't think I would have thought of that.
Was that when we first hired Jack? Maybe it was Jack.
No.
Can we blame it on Mason since he's already gone?
Yeah, let's blame it on Mason. Always down to blame stuff on
Mason. What the hell, man?
But anyways, you guys want to do your survivor pick and then we can hop off?
Well, absolutely. I'm out of the survivor, so I'm done.
Yeah, I'm out of the survivor too. I had who did I have? I had Santa
Barbara. You had Santa Barbara with me.
Even though I think on the podcast I did say Louisiana, but I think I submitted Santa Barbara.
You remember because we all went Raging Cajuns across the board, and I said that's my survivor, and you're like, I'm too scared to do it with you because we've taken too many picks
That's
together.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, you're still in it, right?
Young Buck,
Who you going
Young
with?
Blood. It's the Houston Cougars for the age. For the age. It was never a doubt. That's going to be slight work. It really is. It's going to be a walk in the park. Now, do they look forward to next week and get tripped up? Clip it. It's a walk in the park. It's a sweep.
Love that. If I had to make a pick, I would say my survivor would probably be Houston as well.
My survivor would be Cal.
Oh, I like that one too. We are anti-UConn, aren't
But
we?
Houston is a very savvy, safe play.
It feels safe. It feels like I really, to Ben's point too, and I don't know this team as well as probably Ben does, but the thump looked real, and I buy into like the big 30-run wins because like it really is, offense is so contagious. But they used to be a team where it felt like every year they were making noise in a regional and they were frisky. So if they can return that prominence on the mound, with some of the pieces they added, Trey Jones is a name that you're going to want to remember. He hit 330 last year. He had 9 homers. I think that he can do that again. I'm sure Big 12 pitching will be tough for the boy, but if you remember, he was the dude that played the electric guitar on Senior Day for the national anthem.
Oh, that was him.
Trey Jones, Andy fucking Rakes. He's the guy. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm writing that name down for you.
Boom.
And we'll clip that. The walk in the park, we'll clip it. Make sure people know once St. John wins the series somehow that it's all Jack's fault. Anyways.
Sorry, guys.
All right, that wraps up the show now. Y'all go follow us on subscribe to our YouTube. We're getting a lot of subscribers pretty quickly. That's been fun to follow. We're gonna try to do more stuff, including live shows where you guys can chat and send us questions, blah blah blah. Check out our website. We got a live RPI, so you can check out up to date where your team is in the RPI. I know it doesn't mean anything right now, but it will start in a few weeks. And anything else, boys? Shop at Home Field, 15% off. Promo code CWS24. Get yourself something nice.
Treat yourself. I've got one more thing. Opening weekend, it can get stressful. You're trying to keep up with all of your homework and see who's winning ball games. Dimitri created a badass website. Dude, the scoreboard was sick this weekend, man.
We don't have a
Go
scoreboard.
No scoreboard. It didn't make
the schedules. No, the
Oh,
schedule.
the schedules. Yes, we do.
Like I was like doing all Friday starters were awesome, but like to go and look and see where teams were playing because I had no idea. It was sick.
Yeah. Yeah, the each team has their own each team has their own team page with the schedule, top prospects, team stats. It's fun. So y'all go check it out. 11.7.com.
Yeah.
But all right, we're done. See you, everybody.